Hello everyone, Xeno What If here. To bring in part 2 of What If Jaune arc was reincarnation of Virgil. Link down in the description of the fan fiction of this, What If. Listen here YouTube. I do not own anything and this isn't a scam. 3. Leave of absence. Jaune was ready to leave Beacon and begin his goal on finding the other maidens to absorb their power into his own. He notified Ozpin that if he finds the other half he would have to call him immediately. The Jaune side of him wants him to stay, but he ignored those feelings and proceeded to get ready to leave when RWBY knocked on the door. Knock knock. Virgil. What is it? RWBY. I need your help. Virgil. With what? RWBY. Well, Blake and Weiss had a bit of a fight last night and she hasn't returned since, so can you help us find her please? Virgil. Fine, but not out of good intentions but to get us even for that cookie you gave me last week. RWBY. Really? Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Tries to hug him but Jaune puts his hand out to stop her. Virgil. Where was she last seen? RWBY. Somewhere in Vale I think. Virgil. That's a start I guess. I'll go find her. He then unsheathed the Yamato and forms a portal leading to Vale. This action surprised RWBY, seeing his friend opened up a portal like nothing she had seen. Vale. 10:45 p.m. Jaune was wearing a robe while continue his search for Blake with no luck until he sees her jumping over a rooftop with a monkey faunus behind her. He gave chase but steered a good distance from her, knowing her friend is a faunus. He observed on what they were doing until a bullhead with white fang members came out, including the criminal Roman Torchwick. Virgil. Looks like a robbery is about to happen. He then saw Blake jump down like an idiot and held Roman hostage. She then took off her bow, revealing her cat ears. Virgil. Oh, I see. She a faunus and wants to see why the white fang are working with a human. Just then 2 more bullheads show up, surrendering Blake. Virgil. Sigh, her stupidity is going to kill her. Blake's paw. Just then Roman shot his cane on the floor, separating him from my grasp. He then shit his cane at me but was blocked by a blue blade. We all looked to see a man in a robe walking towards them. WF1. Hey, you stop right there. Roman continued. Roman. Well, don't just stand there, kill him. They all ran towards him, but just as one of them was about to swing his sword, the man's robe came off and the white manner missed his attack, and on the other side shocked me on who it is. It was Jaune, but what also shocked me of what he did. The white fang who tried to slash at him suddenly was cut into pieces, killing him instantly. I thought his aura would have protected him, but he just cut him down within a blink of an eye. WF1. What, his aura should have protected him. WF2. Jay, just kill him. They all charged at Jaune but then showed his new skills I saw firsthand. More white fang jumped out of the bullhead to attack him, but Jaune killed them all before they hit the ground. I felt fear and sadness during the battle right in front of me. Fear that Jaune was showing no mercy towards them, and sadness that he killing the white fang even though they are misguided. Then the final group of white fang all charged at him, but for some reading I knew it was a trap. Blake. Wait, stop. My feelings were right. Just then Jaune got into a stance and within a blink of an eye all the of white fang members died. I then saw Roman escaping in a bullhead with fear in his eyes of what he saw. He got away and turned back to Jaune, was caught his robe and outed back on. Virgil. Too easy. I walked up to him furious of what he did today. Blake. Why? Virgil. Blake. Why did you have to kill them? They were misguided. Virgil. They sealed their fate the moment they attacked. Misguided or not, they had it coming. Blake. I had it under control. Virgil. Really? Because in my eyes you're nothing but dead weight. Son. Hey, that no way to talk to her, man. Virgil. And you are? Son. The name's Sun Wukong, and you? Virgil. Sparta, and if you want to fight me you would have been dead already. Sun tried to attack him but I stopped him before he could get killed. Blake. Just tell me why you are here. Virgil. Your leader RWBY was worried about and asked me to find you. Blake. Why do you want to find me then? Virgil. To pay my debt. Just then I saw RWBY running towards us with worry in her eyes. She ran and hugged, worried of what happened. RWBY. Blake, what happened? Are you okay? Blake. Yes, I'm fine RWBY, I'm just. I turned around and noticed Jaune was gone. I try see if he's around but he's not. Son. What, where? RWBY. Is something the matter? Blake. Jaune was right next to me. RWBY. Wait, Jaune's here. I then saw a note on the ground. I picked it up and it was from John himself. We opened the letter and read it out loud. Dear RWBY, if you are reading this, then I have left Beacon for good. Our time may be short, but it was nice being with you. I apologize for leaving without saying a word, but if I told you, you would have followed me anyway and you would only slow me down. I am now beginning my search for power. I will one day return to Beacon, but not to attend it, but to get something that I want. Sincerely, Virgil. Please, I left you something in my dorm. Hold on to it until then. RWBY then begins to cry now, knowing John has left Beacon behind and now was in pursuit of more power. I actually felt bad for what I did to him, but for now I need to comfort RWBY now in her crying state. Somewhere in Vale, John was walking alone in the streets with his robe on, heading toward the exit. He then spoke, now fully transformed into Virgil, now with his voice back to normal instead of John's voice. Virgil, well, I can't exactly call them misguided. But soon they shall know this devil's power. A power greater than they ever imagined. The power of a son of Sparta. Then a shadow of his sin devil trigger showed in the background. IV, the fall and rise. After John left Beacon, RWBY went to grab the thing John left for her, and it was a book with AV as the title. Since then she changed and was a bit cold to everyone who bullied John. When I came to Glinda's class, she would beat up Team CRDL into a bloody pulp until she was forced to stop by her teammates. She was only joyful to see FVY and SSSN, but not her team nor her sister, also now seeing them as dead weight. It was the Vital Festival and everything was in chaos. Grim attacked everyone on site and a Grim dragon flew over Beacon. Her and Weiss were fighting Grim until Violet called saying Pyrrha is still at the tower fighting off Cinder. RWBY didn't care much, but it would be rude not to leave her behind. What she didn't know, that before everything has happened, before Ospin's death, he sent a message that the other half has been found. Beacon Tower. Pyrrha, do you believe in destiny? Cinder, yes. Just before she was about to fire the arrow, Cinder was interrupted by something landing right next to her and Pyrrha. As the smoke started to clear, she was surprised and shocked to see an unknown creature standing there. Cinder, thinking it's a new type of Grim and to command it to stand down, but instead it charged right at her and punched her towards a broken wall. Pyrrha was surprised of what happened and what the thing is right in front of her. That was answered when the beast disappeared, and what replaced it filled her with shock and relief. It was John, but with a different color outfit. Pyrrha, John, it that you? Virgil, I told you once and I'll tell you again, Miss Nikos. It's Virgil. As Cinder got up, Virgil stood there with Yamato in hand with a stern look. Virgil, so you're the new Fall Maiden. I'm sorry, but that power doesn't belong to you anymore. Cinder, then if you want it spawns a glass sword, then you have to take it. Virgil, HMPH, I thought you would say that. Turns to Pyrrha, get out of here if you value your life. Pyrrha, no, I can't still fight. Virgil, you'll only become dead weight. Those words struck Pyrrha, never hearing that John just called her dead weight of all people. Just then Cinder charged directly at John while he had his back turned, but John knew this. He turned around and smacked her away with his still sheathed Yamato. Virgil, okay then, I guess I'll take it by force. Pyrrha was jaw-dropped, never in her life seen John show such skill when she fought against him in Glinda's class all those months ago. Then finally RWBY showed up, and when she saw John again fighting against Cinder, she was happy to him again. On Cinder's point of view, she thought with the Fall Maiden's power she was unstoppable, but that was proven wrong when she faced the Dark Angle, the legendary son of Sparta. To her shock and horror, her glass swords keeps on breaking each time she made contact with the Yamato, and on top of that his blade was able to bypass her aura, making certain cuts in some areas. She was both afraid and angry of what is happening. Afraid of that she could stop the attacks oncoming at blinding speed, angry that she couldn't stop his attacks. She ordered the Grim Dragon to attack, but John saw this and summoned his doppelganger to take care of it. Virgil, now I'm a little motivated. He decides to increase his speed and power, putting Cinder in the corner of his might. She need to create some distance between her and John. She used her maiden powers to make an explosion and got at least a yard away from him. Cinder, huff, how are you this strong? Virgil, that doesn't concern you, weakling. You're about to die anyways by my hands, and your maiden powers shall be mine. Just then, in the corner of Cinder's eye, she noticed the Grim Dragon disappearing into dust as the doppelganger returns next to John. Virgil, I thinks it's about time that I ended this. Gets into his judgment cut end stance. This is power. Within a split second Cinder was fell to the ground on her knees with her aura completely broken and with many cuts and slashes on her skin. Jaune walked up to her and used his powers to absorb the Fall Maiden's power into his own. He closed his eyes and reopened them to have blue flames come right out of it. Cinder looked up slowly at Jaune until he kicked her off Beacon Tower and onto the ground below. But unknown to him, Emerald came in on time and caught her before she could die. Back at the top, Jaune got what he wanted but felt a tight hug around his waist. When he looked down, he saw RWBY with tears in her eyes, happy to see him again. RWBY. Jaune, I'm so glad you're back. Virgil. RWBY. Looks up to him with tears in her eyes. I'm never gonna leave you side, never. RWBY. I promise I won't slow you down. I want to stay with you and help you, so please let me come with you. Virgil. Jaune just stood there looking down at RWBY, who still cried on him for what felt like a century. Then he did something that even if Dante saw this he wouldn't believe it. He pulled her in close and hugged her. Virgil. Don't disappoint me, okay? RWBY. I won't. Sniff. Virgil. And clean yourselves up, you're covered in snot. Also realizing his outfit has some snot on it too. Time skip. As the Grim in Veil started to leave the area due to the fact that Jaune killed the Grim Dragon but also defeated their leader as well. RWBY helped Pyrrha get down from Beacon Tower and Jaune now had 1 out of Maiden's power at his disposal. Virgil. Where's Ozpin? Pyrrha. He died. Virgil. That's a shame. RWBY. Where were you? Virgil. Looking for more power just like the one Cinder had. Pyrrha. The Maiden's power. RWBY. That what? Pyrrha. Sigh, I'll tell you later, RWBY. RWBY. You better. As they exited out of the tower they were met by the teachers and their friends. Glinda, Oobleck, and Port were surprised to see Jaune back, so was his friends and former friends. Glinda. Mr. Sparta, what are you doing here? Virgil. To claim what is mine. He flared his eyes to show he absorbed the Fall Maidens for himself. Ironwood. How? Kiro. Wait, I thought the Maiden's power can only be transferred to a female. Virgil. And who might you be? RWBY. That's me, Uncle Kiro. Kiro, this is Jaune, or I guess now Virgil. Kiro. Likewise, so kid, how did you do it? Virgil. That is my secret to tell. Ironwood. Well, anyway, you should come with us. Virgil. And why's that? Ironwood. We need to keep you safe since you now have the Maiden's powers. Virgil. I would have to decline that, Mr. Ironwood. James Ironwood, and why would you decline? We are trying to keep you safe. Virgil. I can handle on my own just fine. That person who was the Fall Maiden wasn't much of a warm-up, just a parasite. RWBY. It's true, he didn't even break a sweat. Glinda. Okay, but how did you know about the Maiden? Virgil. Ozpin told me about the legend of the Maidens and that the others are still out there. I want their power for Glinda. To defeat you, twin brother, right? Virgil. I see that you remember. Kiro. Wait, are you telling me that you took the Fall Maiden's power just to settle some sibling rivalry? Virgil. You wouldn't understand, Kiro. Dante and I have some unfinished business. And still I will not come with you, General. Even with all of you against me, the results are still the same. He walked next to RWBY and whispers something in her ear. Virgil. Head towards the west exit of Veil. I'll meet you there. He then transforms into his Sin Devil trigger and flew into the night sky, shocking everyone except for RWBY, who smiled at him. Weiss. What was that? Nora. I don't know, but I got a feeling that was his devil form. Remember in the cafeteria? They all remember that day when that all saw Jaune transformed into a devil right before their very eyes. Ironwood. We need to catch him. Glinda. No, remember James, he's more stronger than anyone here. Even if we combine our force we still be defeated by him. Ironwood. So what, let him find the other maidens just so he can fight his brother? Glinda. But I suggest you go back to Atlas and protect the Winter Maiden if he finds out where she is. Unknown to them, RWBY heard the whole thing and was heading to the west gate to meet up with Jaune, but also unknown to her, Team JNPR was following her to see where she is going. This is the end of part 2 of this What If. I hope you guys like it. Don't forget to leave a comment down below and subscribe to my channel.